a lot of, different things, lots of changes compared to what Afcon used to be. In the previous years where you had Afcon, you had about 16, it used to be 16 countries, but in this year you have 24 countries.
Yeah.
The prize money has actually gone up, by, I believe, by 40%. So the winner gets $7 million, I believe. The entire event is changing. But then as well, it looks as if if we juxtapose the tournament with regards to African football and where African football is, and the vibe that the Afcon used to have. Back then, the Afcon used to be a very, very big thing. We used to look forward to the Afcon. I believe then it was called CAF, Confederation of African Football. But now I don't see that enthusiasm. Maybe I'm isolated. Maybe this feeling is just isolated. But even in the continent, back then you had people traveling as fans to go and support, this nation. So like looking back, because you guys are football lovers just like myself, what has necessarily improved about the Afcon, compared to what we have this year, aside from more countries participating and the prize money and all? Like what do you think is one good thing that has changed and we can say, what? I think African football is actually picking up. It could be like, local players representation and all. But yeah, I mean, your country was in the Afcon. Awesome. I believe that, I don't know, you guys, what has changed for you guys, with regards to how the Afcon is? I don't know the last time Liberia went to the Afcon, but we'll leave that for another day.
Let's leave that for
You guys are always...
Let's talk about Guinea.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, let's have it.
Let's say,
what has changed?
From the early days to now, things have changed for the better, according to my point of view. Like say, structure and organization-wise. As you just mentioned, we moved from 3 teams, that is in 1957, 3 teams competing for the Afcon, to now 24 teams. That's recent change in 2017. And there is also this, the tournament format has switched from to being held in hot numbers. I don't know if that is an advantage, but the way I look at what I want to point here is, so the format of 24 teams have put a lot of pressures to hosting countries to improve their infrastructure, let's say soccer infrastructure, as well as maybe some of the logistics. For instance, in Cameroon, we hosted Afcon in 2021. And we invest a lot of money building stadium that meet international standard. And we also invested money in in improving our tourism sector, because we know Afcon is being broadcast worldwide and to reach every nation.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for African countries to also shine and attract visitors.
Yep.
And what we see after the Afcon is the emerging or several emerging player development and youth programs in place. Just with the idea of bringing in or keeping or maintaining the same sensation nationwide, because people have been getting involved in a lot of celebrations and this benefit to the youth. And in addition to that, what I want to also add is I believe that we will see very soon 2 African countries, requesting to co-organize a World Cup. Why do I say so? If we look at the upcoming World Cup, it's going to be hosted between
Canada
US,
and the US.
Mexico. US, Canada, and Mexico. And if you saw 48 teams, 48 divided by 2, it is 24. So Cameroon hosted in the format of 24. Ivory Coast is doing the same thing. It means that Ivory Coast and Cameroon actually can host a World Cup. And that is what I see as benefit structural organization was. And that is, I think one of the hidden ideas that motivated the CAF as a governing body to, to improve or to decide that we need to move from 3, 8, 16 to 24.
Yeah, great observation.
Yeah.
Great observation. Ogi, to yourself, I believe you've been following African football, from
not just American football.
No, everyone.
I believe you've been following African football, and you're a lover of African football. Do you still believe? And again, I started following this from when I was very, very young. Looking up to the Rashidi Yekinis, to all those guys like that. Looking forward, to them, play. Is there still that enthusiasm in the Afcon whenever it's coming up? You know, do we honestly be like, you know what, the Afcon is coming up. Like most people would close their shops very, very early to go home. Most people are into bars, you know, and you know, like,
Absolutely.
is it still there? The ginger for the Afcon necessarily?
I think personally, from what I've seen and heard, it's hard because you got to remember, like back in the days when people used to close their shop, put their market on hold, and travel from one country to another country. It's not like here where when you want to travel, you can take the plane. Back home, we have to take, we took the bus,
Of course.
walk,
Of
we
course.
drove. So with that being said, it's like you did all of that knowing that the corruption was so big back then compared to now. Whereas like when you went to that, you knew exactly what country. You can make an early prediction as to what country's going to win and what country's going to be in the final.
Yep.
But now you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
The reason being is because now tournament has expanded so much, where it's like it's all over the world now. You know what I mean? Like big European countries are watching it. You see like FIFA presidents leaving from here, going back home to go see the game, even to watch the game over.
Yeah.
It's been televised. It's been, social media is big now. So with that being said, it's like now you can't really sit there and say, okay, well, this country's gonna win. You can predict that.
Okay.
Like example earlier when Osa and I was talking, we were saying, okay, well, at the beginning of the tournament, countries are predicting that Morocco and Senegal will make it to the finals. If you did that back then, guarantee that would happen. But now you can't, right?
Oh, okay.
Because new teams are coming out, hunger.
Underdogs.
Yeah, they don't care. They're just going out there to play, to prove their country right.
Do their thing.
Yeah, do their thing. So it's like now when you go watch the tournament, you're actually excited. You're not just rooting for your country because it's a big continent.
Yeah.
We root for Africa. Whatever country make it, we make it. So
Awesome.
we're just out there just enjoying the game.
Awesome.
And that's what it comes down to. So
Also.